Moving cross country to Florida in 2026, here are the exact steps you should take so you don't get overwhelmed, stressed, lost, or ripped off in this process. Florida is huge. Tampa Bay area, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Lakeland, Orlando, Miami, Tallahassee, somewhere in the country. It's absolutely huge. And what's crazy is, here in Florida, a lot of things matter when it comes to your location. Do you want beach living? Do you want city? Do you want country? Do you want suburbs, walkability? Do you want new construction? And taxes and insurance matter a whole lot here in Florida, probably a lot more than where you're coming from. For instance, if you want beach living or close to the beach, you might need to have a thing called flood insurance, where if you're moving from someplace that doesn't have flood insurance in itself can be a whole video series that we do. You need to build your timeline. Relocation takes times. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. What is your timeline? Because there's a whole lot of moving pieces. If you own a home from where you're going to, that home needs to be sold, closed on. It needs to be free and clear. You need to have all your stuff out in either a pod or a moving bin or a moving truck. You have to have that brought down. You have to coordinate with families. You have to find a house down here or a condo or wherever you're going to go. And then you have to find a storage unit unless everything's going to be able to get into the home right away. There's a whole lot that you need to coordinate with right away. So it does take some time. So if you're thinking about relocating, do it about 60 days out is what my sweet spot is, because that gives you enough time to get your home done, get your moving planned, and then find your new place down here in Florida. Now, when it comes to actually buying down here, are you doing a cross-bridge loan, a cross-country, relocation financing, a rent-to-buy, a normal conventional loan, FHA, first-time home buyers, a second home, an investment property? What are you doing when it comes to a loan, right? So not only you got to figure out where you've been, where you're going, how to get there. Now we need to figure out what the buying process is. If you're, in a situation where you can have a second home, or you can do an investment property, or you can do a vacation, all these different type of things, we have to talk about that right away, because there's different avenues on how to do that process. It wouldn't be just a normal sale unless you're doing just a normal residential sale. Then we can go from there. Lastly, you need to understand the cost of living is much different. Down here in Florida, some people say that there's a tax on the sun. And basically what they're saying is Florida pricing is much different from probably where you are. Sometimes it's a little bit more expensive. Although I have seen different pricing from Tampa to Orlando and Lakeland in the middle. Each one of them has their own little pricing strategy that you see. Sometimes this is more expensive over here. Sometimes it's more expensive over here. For instance, I live in Tampa, and you can either fly out of TPA. There's also an airport right over here in St. Pete that does some major flights as well. It's the airport in Sarasota. There's an airport in Lakeland. There's an airport in Orlando. So when it comes to just pricing flights, I look at TPA, which is the closest. And then you can look around too, because there might be a direct flight from Orlando, and Orlando is only an hour-and-a-half drive. So if you can save a good amount of money and just park there instead, they might have a direct flight. So it's really a massive state with massive cities, and every single one of the cities and areas is very, very different. And that might be different from where you're from.